In today's video, we take a look at a man who left his date alone and made her pay the bill. And this woman here who says that older men are out of touch and looking for an escape. But before we jump in, please make sure to subscribe the channel and turn on the bell notification.
Older men who are dating younger women are looking for an escape. And if they think your world is this escape from, they could be going through their midlife crisis and everything, or they could just be feeling really old and out of touch. But if you drag them into your delusion as if they're the coolest person or the most impressive person that you've met, they're going to go with it. They don't care. The serotonin and the dopamine in their brain is going, and they're going to, after that, they're going to have this blissful feeling when they're around you. And then when you leave them, it's going to go away. And the only way they can get that feeling back is when they're around you. And so they're going to become addicted to your presence, which means they're going to have to spend money to be in your presence. And they're not going to want that feeling to go away. So they're going to give you your money to keep you coming back. Okay. So make sure you get in quick, drag them into your delusion.
Why do modern women like her think that for every interaction, a man has to splurge money on them? And when a guy calls them out on their greed, then they get so defensive about it when they clearly know that they are only chasing the bag and not the man. Also, the only one deluded here is you who thinks that men are dumb and would fall for your antics. And next we have a woman who was left alone by her date.
Y'all, I'm not even joking. He in the bathroom, he left, he dipped, he's gone. That is insane. He said, and he just walked away. He getting blocked tonight.
So a lot of people was jumping to some crazy ass assumptions in the comments of that last 34-second video. Y'all was like, oh, her breath must have stank. There was some crazy things. They was like, did you eat 48 oysters? I was like, 48 oysters? Why would I go on a date and order 48 oysters? And that set me down the rabbit hole of the lady who ordered all that crazy stuff on dinner. And that was kind of funny, low-key. But no, I'm getting sidetracked. That's not what happened. So I'm going to give y'all some context so y'all can understand why I was as confused as y'all are in the comments. So first thing, we met last weekend at a party. We exchanged socials and we had been chatting all the way up until yesterday. So yesterday I was getting ready to go to the movies by myself. So he had texted me. He was like, do you want to go on a date? And because I was already ready and dressed, I was like, yeah, like, sure, because the place he had asked me to go to was only 3 minutes away from the movie theater in the first place. So it was just like I was going to the same place.
Not a lot of context up until now about why he left her during the date, but that 48 oysters date wasn't a lady. She was a whale who had not been fed for God knows how long.
It really didn't cost me any trouble, you know what I mean? So I arrive, he arrives, he orders our food, we sit down, the waitress brings us our food. We're sitting, we're talking, we're having a pretty decent conversation. We were talking about, our goals in life, and they were mirroring each other. Like, I was talking about how I wanted to move to Africa. He was talking about how he wanted to move to Africa, and we were having a great conversation. So then these two ladies come in, and they're sitting like directly across from us because there wasn't that many people in the restaurant. It was only us and then another couple. So they're sitting directly across from us and they're looking at us and they're pointing and they're chatting and we're having an intense conversation, but I can see them in my peripheral view. So they're still talking and pointing. So I bring it to his attention. I'm like, hey, because he had been looking at me the whole time. We had not picked up our phones because we were having a good conversation. I brought it to his attention and he was like, and he looks at his phone and it was being blown up.
Maybe it could be a family emergency, which is why his phone was blowing up. Or maybe he used it as an excuse to just end the conversation and then leave silently.
And he was just acting weird after that. And then after that, he just kind of was on his phone. And I was kind of thinking like, I feel like it's very disrespectful to be on your phone on a date, but I wasn't going to say anything because I just wasn't going to go on a date with him. Like, that was it. So he's on his phone, he's looking at it, and then he just gets up, gets a refill, and he walks out. And that is the story. I don't have anything I don't know. Maybe he did see a red flag of mine or some shit like that. Some of that crazy shit that y'all were talking about in the last thing. Maybe it was true. Shit, I don't know. We both just as confused. So yeah, all I gotta say is that was very lame of him to walk out. He could have just been real and been like, I'm not feeling this, or, you know, said something came up like a real person would, but that was really lame.
Sure, he could have told you the truth, but women generally don't fare well when they are told the truth about anything by men. But then again, it's just one side of the story, and we don't know exactly what he was thinking when he left you alone with the bill.
Sometimes you gotta make the first move, sis. Take this husband's advice. The man should not be doing all the initiating. A man wants to feel desired too. He wants to feel loved too. And I don't know if some of y'all picked up on this, but men start to get very distant the more you deny. The more you push him away, the more you're gonna get your wish. He's gonna seem distant. He's not gonna wanna communicate. He might even go distract himself with work or friends or video games. And then you just think he's just this bitter, angry, resentful, withdrawn guy when he's literally just doing this just to keep his sanity. For a man, begging is no fun. And as this commenter was saying, it definitely affects the ability to perform and enjoy it. Your pleasure is their pleasure, at least for most men. And when a man is pushed away and denied for so long, he no longer has the same feelings towards you or about intimacy with you anymore. And when, if ever, you guys are intimate again, he may not really be into it. Then you might get in your head thinking, well, why is he not into it? Does he not think I'm sexy? Does he not want to be with me? No, it's because he pursued you for so long and you pushed him away. When you played this little game of cat and mouse, you tried to come crawling your way back, you've made him lose interest. Ask me how I know, because I did this, and I had to make a very big change to turn my marriage around. So I'll tell you this, initiation goes a long way. Making your man feel desired and loved and valued goes a long freaking way. Don't just make your husband pursue you and then deny him, actually pursue him back.
And this is just the thing any man wants, and this is exactly what majority of the men don't experience even once in their life, and which eventually either causes the end of the marriage or the man just isolating himself from everyone to protect his mental peace.
What's your age?
I'm 30.
Are you single?
I am.
Do you think it's a red flag that you're single at 30?
Maybe to some people. I'd had a long-term relationship for a while up until like a couple years ago. So I think that for some people that have a very antiquated sense of romance and modern dating, it's possible they could see it as a red flag.
So why did you end that relationship?
Because we met when I was 19 and I grew into somebody that was very different than who I was at 19 years old, and the partner that I would have chosen at 28 was much different than the person that I had chosen at 19.
And how long was this prior relationship?
8 years. It was just a matter of falling out of love and being somebody new and just wanting to explore life as an individual versus always being tied to somebody.
How do you approach dating now, being that your 8-year relationship has ended?
It's not going to be just anybody. It's going to be the right person because I'm extremely content being single and I have a certain level of peace that I'm not willing to sacrifice that.